Compared to our imagination, space disappoints us a little. For years, mankind has dreamed of finding extraterrestrial neighbors in near space, on the red sands of Mars or under the clouds of Venus. We've sent space probes and robotic explorers to learn more about these planets, but we still haven't found any living creatures in our own solar system. This means we have to look farther if we want to find a trace of life. Alpha Centauri also seems to be the best option. So what and where is the Alpha Centauri? If you're ready, let's start. Alpha Centauri, the brightest star in the constellation of Centaurus, is, when seen through a telescope, actually 3 stars orbiting around one another. This trinary star system consists of 2 sun-like stars, Alpha Centauri A and Alpha Centauri B, and a red dwarf, Alpha Centauri C, or Proxima Centauri. Its distance from Earth is approximately 4.37 light-years, making it the closest star system in the galaxy to the solar system. Stars. Alpha Centauri is a trinary star system, meaning that it has 3 stars. It is Earth's closest stellar neighbor outside the solar system. Its largest member, Alpha Centauri A, or ACA to astronomers, is about 20% larger than the Sun, but otherwise very similar. ACA would be unremarkable were it not for the fact that it serves as the Sun for Pandora, a large moon that orbits Polyphemus. It was on Pandora that explorers encountered the Na'vi, the only intelligent species yet discovered in outer space. Pandora is also the only known source for unobtainium, a high-temperature superconductor essential for many of Earth's technologies. Alpha Centauri B, ACB, is about 15% smaller than the Sun, and noticeably orange because it is 500 Kelvin cooler than its neighboring star. Alpha Centauri C, ACC, also known as Proxima Centauri, is a red dwarf, only 20% of the size of the Sun and less than half its temperature. ACC gives off only a dim red glow instead of the bright yellow glare of the Sun and ACA. Planet potential. Astronomers announced in August 2016 that they had detected an Earth-size planet orbiting Proxima Centauri. The newfound world, known as Proxima b, is about 1.3 times more massive than Earth, which suggests that the exoplanet is a rocky world, researchers said. The planet is also in the star's habitable zone, the just right range of distances where liquid water can exist. Proxima b lies just 4.7 million miles from its host star and completes one orbit every 11.2 Earth days. As a result, it's likely that the exoplanet is tidally locked, meaning it always shows the same face to its host star, just as the Moon shows only one face to Earth. However, it's unclear just how habitable Proxima b is from today's telescopes. This means that astronomers need to run models and do comparative studies to better understand how habitable the planet might be. As a start, the planet needs a closer look for investigators to look for signs of an atmosphere. From there, the investigators can extrapolate if their atmosphere allows liquid water to flow on the surface. Even the surface temperature of the planet depends on the atmosphere, which would also play into habitability characteristics. Because Proxima b is so close to a red dwarf, habitability problems are already coming to scientists' minds. For one thing, the planet is so close that it likely is tidally locked to the star, meaning that one side of the planet is always facing the star. This means one side of the planet would be very warm, while the opposite side would be very cold, unless winds could distribute the heat around the planet. That makes it hard for life to exist. But the planet's close distance to the red dwarf presents other problems too. Red dwarfs are unstable stars, particularly when they are young. They have a lot of stellar activity and produce charged particles, which can produce intense radiation on nearby planets. Some of this radiation can strip molecules off the top of a planet's atmosphere and thin it over time, according to 2017 studies led by the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. Studies of red dwarf stars are ongoing to better understand the habitability of Proxima b. In November 2017, another planet in the habitable zone of a red dwarf was discovered that's almost as close to Earth as Proxima b is. Called Ross 128b, this planet orbits a red dwarf star that appears much quieter than that of Proxima b. The research team said that finding out more about its atmosphere will require a next-generation telescope such as the European Extremely Large Telescope, the Giant Magellan Telescope, and the 30-meter telescope that all are expected to be active in the 2020s. Binary stars. To the naked eye, the two main stars shine as one, making them the third brightest star in our night sky. The two separate stars can be seen through a small telescope, one of the finest binary stars that can be observed. Proxima Centauri is too faint to see unaided, and through a telescope it appears about 4 diameters of the full moon away from the other two. By itself, Alpha Centauri A is the third brightest star in the night sky, just a bit dimmer, by 0.02 of a magnitude, than Arcturus. It is a yellow star of the same type as the Sun, and it is about 25% larger. Alpha Centauri B is an orange K2 type star, slightly smaller than the Sun. Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf about 7 times smaller than the Sun, or 1.5 times bigger than Jupiter. All 3 stars are a bit older than the Sun, which is about 4.6 billion years old. How to see Alpha Centauri? Unluckily for many of us in the northern hemisphere, Alpha Centauri is located too far to the south on the sky's dome. Most North Americans never see it. The cutoff latitude is about 29 degrees north, and anyone north of that is out of luck. In the US that latitudinal line passes near Houston and Orlando, but even from the Florida Keys, the star never rises more than a few degrees above the southern horizon. Things are a little better in Hawaii and Puerto Rico, where it can get 10 degrees or 11 degrees high. But for observers located far enough south in the northern hemisphere, Alpha Centauri may be visible at roughly 1 a.m. in early May. That is when the star is highest above the southern horizon. By early July, it reaches its highest point to the south at nightfall. Even so, from these vantage points, there are no good pointer stars to Alpha Centauri. For those south of 29 degrees north latitude, when the bright star Arcturus is high overhead, look to the extreme south for a glimpse of Alpha Centauri. Observers in the tropical and subtropical regions of the northern hemisphere can find Alpha Centauri by first identifying the distinctive southern cross. A short line drawn through the crossbar eastward first comes to Hadar, then Alpha Centauri. Meanwhile, in Australia, and much of the southern hemisphere, Alpha Centauri is circumpolar, meaning that it never sets. Alpha Centauri in mythology. Alpha Centauri has played a prominent role in the mythology of cultures across the southern hemisphere. For the Ngarrindjeri indigenous people of South Australia, Alpha and Beta Centauri were 2 sharks pursuing a stingray represented by stars of the Southern Cross. Some Australian Aboriginal cultures also associated stars with family relationships and marriage traditions. For instance, 2 stars of the Southern Cross were thought to be the parents of Alpha Centauri. Astronomy and navigation were deeply intertwined in the lives of ancient seafaring Polynesians as they sailed between islands in the vast expanse of the South Pacific. These ancient mariners navigated using the stars, with cues from nature such as bird movements, waves, and wind direction. Alpha Centauri, and nearby Beta Centauri, known as Camela Hope and Camela Mua, respectively, were important signposts used for orientation in the open ocean. For ancient Incas, a llama graced the sky, traced out by stars and dark dust lanes in the Milky Way from Scorpius to the Southern Cross, with Alpha Centauri and Beta Centauri representing its eyes. Ancient Egyptians revered Alpha Centauri, and may have built temples aligned to its rising point. In southern China, it was part of a star group known as the South Gate. Alpha Centauri is the brightest star in the constellation Centaurus, named after the mythical half-human, half-horse creature. It was thought to represent an uncharacteristically wise centaur that figured in the mythology of Heracles and Jason. The centaur was accidentally wounded by Heracles, and placed into the sky after death by Zeus. Alpha Centauri marked the right front hoof of the centaur, although little is known of its mythological significance, if any. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next science video. Don't forget to like the video and write your thoughts in the comments section. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel.